Let me begin by greeting each one of you. I trust that all of us are well and the Lord is with us. What we are facing is a country in crisis, and we are trying to find who the best candidate for us as the Zambian land is. I will give my speech under three paragraphs only, or three subjects only. Firstly, it is about me, where I am. Secondly, it is about the party and where it's going. And thirdly, it's about what we want to do when the people of Zambia choose us as their leader. Three only, and I stop. My name, as you know, is Ernest Mwansa. Born on the Copper Belt. I'm a child from a very poor family. But because of the system that existed at the time, I was able to get educated. And I'm very grateful to God for that. I did my secondary school, primary school in the village, from grade 1 to grade 7. I flunked grade 7 once and came and repeated at Kasala primary school in Chingola. And finally went to secondary school at Chingola Secondary School. After that, I went to national service. Then I worked in the analytical department of ZCCM as an assayer, which is an analytical officer. I wasn't satisfied with that and decided I should go to school again, then went to law school and graduated as a law student. I'm a practicing lawyer. I've been in government also, a member of parliament for Chifunabuli constituency for 15 years. When I left, I just decided I needed to rest, not because I lost an election. But during the period I was in government, I want to tell you that I was nominated to 3 ministries as a deputy minister, starting with the Ministry of Energy and Water Development. Then secondly, the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, and thirdly, the Ministry of Health. And I can tell you this, that in each and every ministry where I was appointed, there is something I can show as having been done under my guard. Ministry of Energy and Water Development, I was with Honorable Nawakwi as my minister. And we mooted the idea of rural electrification and ensured that it commenced. What you know today as rural electrification began with us and Honorable Nawakwi, and it succeeded. Went to the Ministry of Broadcasting. We started a project to ensure that ZNBC was not the only media in the country. And we worked, we fought, we argued even with the professionals until a time came. It came, unfortunately, after I'd left, but a time came when that idea to open the media up became a reality, and we have it today. I was in the Ministry of Health, and we went for health reforms. And the health reforms worked. And you know that we are directors of health countrywide. And one of the things we wanted to avoid is the kind of pilfering and theft that we have seen today. Because when you allow people to congregate in one place and you don't have the rules and laws, you have a problem. And what has happened has showed that reality. Not only was I a deputy minister, as I've said, I also worked at Parliament as a deputy speaker. Under my watch, I was the first chairman of the Reforms and Modernization Committee of Parliament. Some of the things you see today emanated from that. Namely, we now have a media there, listening and helping us to disseminate information. That was under the charge of the late Speaker, Honorable Amosa Mwanamwa, may so rest in peace. So I know, as a deputy speaker, how Parliament works. I've been there. I've worked with it. We have changed things there. That's what Reform and Modernization Committee was about. The Constituency Development Fund was a creature of myself
Honorable Nguni and Honorable Mkupa. We fought for Constituency Development Fund until the government budged and allowed it on the budget of the country. And the first figures they were giving us were 600,000 kwacha. But it worked. It has now come to this. They are misusing the intention we had. But that's fine. At least it's there. Judicial Service Commission, I was a member of it. We were the first to sit and fire a sitting judicial officer because she did something unacceptable in the judiciary. So I know how government works. No one can cheat me about that. So that's about me. Let me move on quickly to the party. Please let me know when at least give me the 5-minute segment so that I can control myself. The party. This party has come from far. Do not be cheated. It has come from a group called Systems of Governance. And the intention in the initial stage was basically that we put up ideas that would help anyone in government to run government better. And so a lot of great men, great Zambians, put their heads together, formulated the policies that we wanted for the good of our country. At that point in time, there was no one who was even thinking of getting in government. But unfortunately, unfortunately, what transpired was that our ideas were not taken up by government or the opposition at that time. So we ended up saying to ourselves, look, let not these ideas die. That's when we started looking for a political party to join so that we can move the process forward. That's how we came to Z, because other political parties were even asking us for money for us to join them, and we refused because we believed in ideas. Finally, we became the Zambia we want. We changed it from Z, that's Zambians for Empowerment and Development, while we were still in an alliance with the UPND, because we knew that if we moved and tried to apply for the change of name when we were outside of government, they were not going to agree. So we ensured that we did that change before we moved ZWW. The certificates are there, you can see what I'm talking about. But I'm very grateful to everyone who has contributed to what ZWW has become. All of us must feel proud that we have developed a party that is based on ideas other than individuals. And that was a particular concern for me. We do not believe in individuals. Have we worked well? To an extent, yes, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Are there things we did wrong and right? Maybe each one of us can judge. Because we are human, we all make mistakes. So all of us may have made mistakes. I, for one, will speak for myself. One of the challenges you have raised with me, colleagues, is that I wasn't pushing the party agenda too much around the country. But I want to say this to you, that if I had been in the forefront of party mobilization, this party would not have survived. There were too many interests among us, interests that would have destroyed us if I took the center stage. All of you would have been accusing me of fighting to become the president. I allowed all of us, all who wanted to become presidents, to feel free to go around the country. If that was my mistake, I asked for forgiveness. But I believed that for the good of the party, one individual can stay behind and let others also project their being. If that is a mistake, I ask for forgiveness. But I believe that that needed to be done if we are going to keep this party together. Until a time when we have an election like this and we choose our own bearer of the flag of ZWW, it would have been a dangerous move. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Judge for yourselves. So that's about the party, and I will end there. I'll move on to the last one, about the country. Colleagues, it's not about how we feel. It is about where the country is and who stands the best chance to go out there and become our flag bearer. I have faced challenges with every government because I believe in the rule of law. There are things we've done I don't quite agree with, but we are a team. And I want to bow to the collective view of every one of us. Out there, we will go under microscope. If any one of us who wants to be president of this party has something under them, it will come out. And I want to say this also, that when we are creating a political party, we must not think about an alliance as a starting point. We go in an alliance as a strong organization. Our constitution already allows for that. But what we need to do for now is to make sure that this party is strong, that we must be passionate about it. We must desire to transform this party into an alternative government. Should things not work, that's when we should say to ourselves, who are the other parties that have similar beliefs, that have similar ideas, whom we can join with. But not only that, we must go further and insist on rules and regulations to govern that alliance in writing before we move. And you are talking to, or you are listening to a person who has gone through these problems before. I will tell you this, colleagues. If these things are not sorted out before you go in an alliance, the only beneficiaries in an alliance will be those who will be part of the team that will create the alliance. The rest of you will be left out. That's how alliances worldwide works. But at least you deserve to know what it is you have agreed to before you move. That's my appeal to you. At the end of the day, it's your decision. For me, there are 10 things that require to be done if we get into government. Please tell me if it's disturbing me.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
I have to give you an additional 1 minute because I've been disturbing you. But now you've got 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. There are things we must do the moment we get into government. But before we do get into government, remember there's the Electoral Commission. It's a huge problem. We need to begin now to challenge what is going on in the Electoral Commission. And not challenging by word of mouth, but by taking them to court so that we have a record of it. So our judicial team, our legal team must prepare for battle going forward. Legal battles all the way through. That's one. 2, the environment in which we are going into these campaigns is very against us. It's bad. The media has been stifled. We must work to challenge ZNBC, for example. We all pay taxes. Why should it become a mouthpiece for only the government, the people in government? But let me just touch on a few things. There are things we can do when we get into government which do not cost money. And we have said of certain things that we'll do them within a year. For me, among those things will be constitutional reform. Among those things, it will be the need for us to equate jobs in government and ensure that all regions are represented in our government. They have every right to be represented. We must deal with the issue of tribalism. First year in government. We have to do that. We must ensure that this country feels one, not like we are being polarized. We must deal with the problem of corruption right from the beginning. These are issues we cannot postpone. These are issues we should go in government with. We must streamline these things. And I assure you, colleagues, that when Zambia we want goes out to speak, they will listen to us on these issues. I've said 10, but since time is not with me, I will just assure you that the 10 things that I think we should start with in the first year of government are things that do not cost as much money, except for the constitutional reform. So we can do it. We can show the country from day one that we are able to change it. By the end of the year, the transformation will be such that everyone will be saying, yeah, this is it. I have to stop there, and thank you for listening to me.
Honorable Mwansa, please, you can take a seat. We have stopped the time. No, keep on the mic because you still have to answer the question, but please take a seat, sir, on the same chair because you are still in front.
May I get a pen?
Yeah, please do. She will start the time again probably for 20 minutes. Now, for the purposes of the president, just repeat, I was told that I wasn't very audible. I was saying that the current number of the National Leadership Council is currently 39 members. Of those, 2 have not been included on the register due to them not meeting a particular criteria in the necessary time which was stipulated. 37 qualified, and that is the extent of the register that will vote. That started with the office of the SG, and that will end with the last office which will be elected, which is supposed to have been the vice president by the NLC. But I think that given the situation of the withdrawal by the chairman, the Electoral Commission will give us the guidance for that. I think that was very important. Almost all of the members of the National Executive Committee, National Leadership Council are here. I think I can only see 2 or 3 people. Maybe there are 2 or 3 people that I cannot see, but I'm sure that they will all be there for the vote. So that is just really for purposes of the press. The second issue I wanted to say, again, for the purposes of the press and the public, because we are live, is what you have witnessed here. A very democratically governed party. We follow the rules and regulations, and every member has got the right to ask, to oppose, to give his proposal on the table. Because we do not believe in messianic leadership, because we believe in peer leadership, we have maintained the type of ethos which we think is required for the Republic of Zambia. We have to do this thing together. So sometimes, again, for the purpose of the press, our meetings are heated. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we hug, and you would be surprised to see that people have had bitter discussion. The following day, hug each other. There are people in our party which are like the reflection of Zambia, people who are a bit short-tempered like myself, and the others who are so on. So I think that was very important for the purpose of the press. We're now doing the peer review. Honorable Mwansa was the first. He has given his 15-minute speech. We shall now ask for questions. My plea to all of those who are going to ask is that because he has 20 minutes, please don't take his time by asking a question which is 5 minutes. If you go too long, I will stop it. So 1 question, ask and sit down. We will take 3 questions at a time, allow him to answer. We move on to the next 3. So at this point, we can start the timer. The first hand up is Mr. Kazia. The second hand up was Mr. Ndonga. The third hand up was Mr. Sakala. So questions in that order, and then we will open it up to the second stage. Mr. Kazia, go ahead.
Thank you.
Please be very brief and direct.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, I want you to tell the country what inspires you to take a lead and participate in the elections of being a president, and what is your vision for the country? Thank you.
Mr. Ndonga.
Thank you, Mr. Mr. President, I think we have already said to the budget every year that the Minister of Finance presents the budget. They say more than 90% of the businesses are SMEs. My question is, what method do you think is the best to make Zambians rich through SMEs, and what type of reforms do you think need to be done with the education system to ensure Zambia becomes a hub of entrepreneurs?
Mr. Sakala, the last question. You've taken another question, presidential candidate? Okay, Mr. Sakala.
Thank you so much, Secretary General. The question to me, to President Mwansa, is that how will you ensure that the party is unified across all regions, and also what is your strategy for winning the national elections in 2026? Thank you.
Okay, the presidential candidate shall be given the opportunity to answer those three, then we'll go to the next set. Mwansa?
Thank you very much for the questions asked. The first question from Mr. Kazia is for me to tell the country what inspires and what is good, what is my vision for the country. I hope I summarized it well. Inspiration comes from the fact that until decent people, honest individuals take the realm of government, this country will not change. Until people who have gone through the mill become the individuals who start running our government, we are leaving it to the corrupt, we are leaving it to the people who have no interest at heart of this country. So my inspiration comes from the fact that I know from a biblical point of view, and by the way, I need to mention I'm a Christian born again. My inspiration comes from the fact that when I read the Bible, what I discover is that whenever good people run a country, people are happy. And whenever evil people run the country, evil grows in that country. I am inspired by the knowledge that this country can be better, that this country can be run by people who love their country. And my appeal and plea, using the media we have today, is that decent people should not shun politics, or we hand over our country to the crooks. It's as simple as that. That's my passion. And secondly, I have grandchildren now. Children I want to leave a country to, a country that I am proud I have left to them. Proud that they have done the best, we have done the best for them. And I think it's doable. It will be very sad that for convenience sake or for not liking somebody, we choose leadership that may not bring that dream to fruition. That's how I would answer you, my brother. And it's important and it's a very good question that. The budget issues, this is Mr. Ndonga. Let me just say this to you in summary. If we do not deal with small industries well, we will never develop. Firstly, multinationals come with their money and they want to make profit. That's all they do. And the profits they make go out of this country. So that's not something we should be proud of. The GDP can look very well on paper, but the money does not stay in the country, so you cannot develop your own economy. Our dream and focus must be on helping the small entrepreneurs, the small business people, the entrepreneur that uses money here, spends money here, invests money here. And that's why in our manifesto we have already talked about creating a bank, let me call it a bank, from which this group of entrepreneurs can go and borrow money at simple interest, so that we start helping them to grow. And Mr. Ndonga, I want to say I love the passion you have for small entrepreneurs, and I am hoping, God willing, that going forward, you'd be in a position to put your dream to reality, because that's really what we want. Unify, I think there was another. I hope I've answered, and if something has been left, please remind me. Party unity. Let me say this, that for most of you colleagues, we've been together for more than a year. If honestly we've been looking at each other from the point of view of character, we should not be doubting each other about who we are. We know. If we are making decisions today that do not foster party unity, it's because we have made a very conscious decision to ignore the reality and do what we want to do, or because we do not like a face among the five of us and we are using that to get rid of them. If that is the motive behind what you individually are doing, let me tell you that you are sowing the seed that will destroy the Zambia we want and the dream that we have. I have been your interim president, and I can challenge any one of you who will say, I worked to undermine them. I am a team builder, and I've said this before, that I'm one person who believes that in order for me to go up, I must raise as many people up as I can so that they can put me on their shoulders. That's my belief in life. That's how I've lived my life. I have never in my life worked to undermine anyone, including my enemies, and I do not intend to start now. So building unity in the party is a passion for me because that's who I am.
Okay, you are done? Okay, Mrs. Nyangwe, I think that there was one here, so I'll ask Mrs. Nyangwe, Eugenius Mumba, then Ms. Nalute Kwalombota. After this, I will start with you, and I'll cover the three of you. I've seen you, that is O'Brien, Mr. Mkwaya, and Mr. Chulman. So that will be, I hope we'll still be in time. Please, Mrs. Nyangwe.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mwansa. We have a lot of parties in this country, and most of them emanate after the elections. When somebody loses, they decide to go and make a political party. I'm asking Mr. Mwansa, if you didn't win this election, are you going to support Zambia we want with your full heart and make sure that it grows? Thank you.
Thank you. By Eugenius Mumba.
Thank you, SG and Chairperson, for this session. Honorable Mwansa, in your address, you made reference to various portfolios of health in government. That's quite good. I want to draw your attention now, in fact, the point you are making about the Minister of Health, corruption, misapplication of resources. And you said, you told us that even amongst you, the five of you, you are going to be put to a greater scrutiny by the country, and especially by the current government. Can you assure me and the rest of us in the NMC that you don't have any skeletons in your cupboard, so that when we vote, we are free of thinking that tomorrow we will be attending court, not just a question.
Okay, no, I think the question is taken. I'm worried about the time. Madam Kwalombota.
In your address, you said that you are not as aggressive during your interim tenure as president to push the party into progressive. So now I'm asking, if we give you a vote, what are you going to do differently to make sure that the party grows? It will have structures, it will have national presence, so that it will make us go into the elections for 2026. What is it that you're going to do differently, which you didn't do when you were interim president, since you mentioned that you stayed behind because you wanted to give a level playing field to other presidential candidates?
Thank you, Madam Kwalombota. Mr. Presidential Candidate, sir.
Thank you very much for these great questions. The first one is from Honorable Sinyangwe about whether or not should I lose this election, I'll go to form another party. I'm too old for anything like that now. I can assure you. I would rather, if I get very frustrated and angry, the only thing I can do is to rest. But this is my party. I would rather be with my party than with anyone else. I will be in the background, that's fine. I just plead that the choices we make today are not based on what I have said, the things or the groupings, but on the need for this party to grow. If that is done, and I'm convinced, I will play any role you give me. But if you don't do that, don't ask for me to be with you, because I do not want to dent my name.
Mr. Mumba.
Mr. Mumba, it's, let me see. Any skeletons? I have lived my life as an open book. I have told you I'm a Christian. I am an elder in my church today, and I value who I am and the integrity of it. I have my children to worry about. I would never want my children to look at me as a former prisoner. But that's not to say that government cannot manufacture challenges. They may, but they won't win because I have not done anything that would merit that. I can assure you about that. And I think even morally, I can say with certainty that I'm not likely to be challenged that I have been promiscuous. I will still be okay that area as well. If given a vote, what are you going to do differently? To start with, I'm going to go into Kanyama. I am going to go into Monali personally and begin to meet with the people. Something I was afraid of doing. I won't fear. Look, the advantage of this election, colleagues, is that it removes us from the clutches of fear that will break. Okay? It creates a unity by itself if we do it well. Only if we are untruthful, deceitful, and trying to just undermine others is this going to be a problem. But if we come out with one team focused on making this party work, we may discover that we may not even need an alliance to win an election. And I'm going to do my best. I will go province by province. I promise you that, to campaign for my party. Because no one will be saying to me then that I'm doing it because I want to be the president of the party. I will have already been elected by my colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Mwansa. So these are probably the last three because we have how many minutes remaining? We've got 6, so please be quick. Brian, Mr. Mkwaya, and then Mr. Bushman. And if we do it enough, I'll stick Honorable Kamanga there. Please, Brian.
Morning, President.
Just a minute, please.
My question is, what key strategic actions will you undertake if elected as president in 30 days to profile the party as a true pace setter internally and within our ranks and among opposition parties, and in positioning ourselves as a flag bearer for next year's
Sorry, sir, you are too fast for me to write. Please just run through it.
What strategic actions, if elected as president, will you undertake in 30 days to profile the party as a true pace setter internally within our ranks, among opposition parties who are seemingly will be a key stakeholder for next year's election, and in positioning ourselves as the Zambia we want, as the flag bearer for next year's national elections?
Okay, Mr. Mkwaya.
So, Mr. President, I just wanted to find out, since in the past it's already been established, the reason of limitations and the reason we could not have certain things done because probably you are in an instrumental position. Now that you want to actually be the one to lead the party, and considering the fact that the majority of people, the majority of voters, so to say, are young people, youths, and we've tried for visibility for some time, what are you going to do differently to at least just inspire confidence in us and believe to say this time around, we're not going to leave us before, because already you've explained so much on reasons of you not actually getting reformed to standards that would have inspired us to believe that our president is with us. So what is going to happen different that would even make many other youths out there to say, okay, we now have a president in Zambia one that will stand with us.
Mr. Zumanda, Ambassador Zumanda.
Moderator, good morning. I'm Mayor Garland, Senior Counsel. Do you see your other candidates as credible as you are? Or you see, or do you look at yourself as the only viable or credible candidate amongst the five?
Okay, I will give Mr. Kamanga last. We are closing with you now. Please, be quick.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. President, what other positions in the party have you applied for? If you have, what are those positions that you want? If you haven't, is that an indication that you only want to serve as president in this party?
Okay, I close. I think that we have 3 minutes. Because of the length of the question, I will add on 2 more minutes so that we can give the Honorable 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to answer those questions, sir. And then we will close.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the last question asked.
Because I think it's a critical question. And because I know that if Honorable Kamanga had wanted, he would have just said, why didn't you apply for it? Because he knows that I didn't. But that's fine. I will start with it. One thing, if you look at developed democracies, that happens when a candidate loses an election, is that they recede into the background to give the new leadership ability to run things their way. And that's very cardinal. It's important. It's not done because they don't want power. It is done because they want to ensure that the people who get power do not remain with the feeling that the others who have lost are undermining them. That principle for me is extremely important. I am ready, as I've said, to be a member of my party until it goes into elections. So I'm not doing it out of spite or malice of my colleagues. I'm doing it because I believe that if I am not the one who takes office at the level that I was, I should be in a position where I am not seen or imagined to be undermining others. So it's from a principled perspective that I've taken this position. It is not because I don't want, or it's because I just want to be president. I am not a gambler, by the way, and please bear with me on that. Honorable Chulumanda asked if I see other candidates as credible. If you notice, all of them are my friends. If you notice, I have shared everything with colleagues who are that side. But at this point in time, we are competing. It's not about credibility, it's not about anything. It's about what I think I can do. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses. That's up to them. You will judge them just like you judge me. So I think it's unfair for you to want me to comment directly on any one of them. I refuse to do that. Now that you want to lead, and that is from my young man there, we have talked once, but this time we are talking because I am fighting for a place and his vote. Let me say this to, look at me closely, Mufwaya. You will see that the best I can do is probably 5 years in office. Beyond that, you will have to give me walking sticks and stuff like that. My dream and passion is that by the time this group of Zambians leave office, we will have groomed a young generation of Zambian politicians with integrity who will desire to run this country out of a pure belief that it is for the good of our country. So if you want to know my dream, it's to have young people like you under immediate mentorship if we get into government. So that by the time 5 years is gone, nobody will be talking about young Mfwaya. They'll be talking, these guys have been under the grill. They have been under the boat. They know who they were with. And by the way, let me say this, as I conclude the response to this one. Colleagues, particularly young people, what I want is integrity in you. I want you to run this country when we are gone in a manner that will be saying to the rest of the people, we were under good tutorship. If that happens, you will make my day, and even in the grave, I'll be smiling. That's my dream. Thank you. I hope I've answered all the questions that came my way.
Yeah, you have how many? 1 minute, 1 minute remaining. Maybe I should ask you, we have. No, I think we should allow him to wrap up now. The rest of you will answer other questions. Mr. President?
Thank you, colleagues. It's been a good time seeing this group come together and come to this point in time.
We are coming from different backgrounds. There's one thing that is true about us. If we unite properly now, I can assure you, SG, that the country will be looking at us as the alternative government. It's a guaranteed. Because if you look at the challenges that are in the Tonse Alliance and the challenges that are in UKA Alliance, it gives us this open environment in which we can campaign and show ourselves as the best. But should things happen that we need an alliance, why not? Why not? We can go in, but we should not start from there. We should start with us, and if possible, end with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I have to go and hide somewhere.
You have to go and hide somewhere. But we've already closed now. We can now change the rules. The time is finished, and we have to be fair to everyone. We've set a time limit. I have discretion, just like football, to give 3 or 4 minutes, but I think, thank you very much. We shall shortly be calling on Dr. Ponga to be coming through. Please don't worry. When it comes to lunchtime, we will provide lunch for all those that are here, including the journalists. I will allow just 5 minutes of people who've got questions, because I can see there are a number of questions that are being raised. So I will start with Mr. Ndonga, then Ms. Ambassador Chilumanda. Any other question? And then after that, I will ask Sister Ponga to come through. Please, Mr. Ndonga, what is your question?
I feel if we have set the time, but questions have been allowed to be asked, I think we should have that flexibility to allow some few minutes for him to answer all the questions that have been asked. Because it's very important for our decision making. Unless the question hasn't been asked, and then you say we've closed the question, that we understand. But once the question has been asked, may we allow the candidate to respond?
Oh, there was a question which was not...
There was a question he asked, a very important question. I was looking forward to hear how he was going to answer.
Okay.
If possible, I'm begging you can call him.
One second. I apologize. I did not know. I thought that there was another question. I thought there was another hand for another question. Because if you recall, I had closed it with Honorable Kamangu. But I take note, and I'm sure that my colleagues here will tell you that we've actually gone beyond 35 minutes. Almost, I think, more than 5 minutes beyond that time. So that flexibility is allowed. Ambassador Chilumanda, then the last would be Honorable Sinyangwe. Then we ask Dr. Ponga to come in. Chilumanda?
I agree with you, Chair, that we're racing against time. We are PLP time. But also, my plea, especially to the Eastern, especially to this one is making noise. Please, including our journalists, please put the phone on silent.
On silent.
Or if they can't be on silent, take them off. It's very disturbing to the candidates when they are giving their voice. So that's that.
Okay, I hear you, Ambassador. Mike Sinyangwe last, then we call in Dr. Ponga.
I think my advice is when we give time, let's stick to the minutes. But when you say I had 2 minutes, I had 1. People here will come and say, the other one they gave me 10 minutes, even when it was 1. So please.
Yes, I take note of that, Honorable Sinyangwe. The only difficulty now is that if I become strict on all the rest and not give him time, the complaint would be that that was engaged and this one was. So I think that the pitch has already been made, but I think that the important thing is that in all we do, we have to have some degree of flexibility. Just a little. I mean, not overdoing it, but just a degree of flexibility. May I now ask Dr. Ponga, please come through. We are now going to proceed to the second presidential candidate, and she's just about to enter the room. You see, I was going to ask that you give her a hand, but I don't think I asked that when Mwansa is, so I will not do so. Dr. Ponga, please come. Sit first on this chair, and then I will present you to your peers.
As if they're seeing me for the first time.
No, they are not seeing you for the first time. They all know you. Thank you very much. Yes, so I will now ask that we will do exactly the same. I will give Dr. Ponga 15 minutes to make her remarks. After that, we will then open it up to questions for 20 minutes. There will be minor flexibility in terms of extra time, just in case you're not finished the sentence. I now call upon you. Oh, sorry. I am being told that please come and fix it on her. Please come and fix it on her. This is for the cameras and for the thing. As soon as he finishes, then you stand up and speak, and our commission here will then set the time.
You have a pocket?
No, I don't.
Are you going to sit throughout?
No, I want to stand.
Oh, okay. I can help you. Just if you don't think I will steal anything.
This needs to be seated in your pocket somewhere.
Can I put it in?
Yeah, you can.
I hope it doesn't fall.
Okay, Madam, you can now start the timer as Dr. Ponga now is addressing. Please watch that the camera is there so that you can your movement will be around here because you are on camera.
How unfortunate. Good morning, colleagues. So I'm happy to present myself to you as a candidate for the president of the Zambia We Want political party. I come with a lot of determination to see that this party makes a difference from all the political parties that we have had in the past. This is because we are focusing on the Zambia that we want. So we are creating expectation from people. And I want to say that there are a number of things that we are unhappy with. So I look towards you as a people that are committed to want a different Zambia. In the interactions I've had with you, I see a lot of experience, and I see a lot of qualified and learned colleagues. If we teamed together, we could actually change the terrain of our country. At the moment, I come to you very humbly, not because I do not recognize what I have, but because I come from a humble background. My parents were basically teachers. And when my dad died, my mom sold ifitumbua, if you know what that is, at a primary and a secondary school to see the rest of us through school. She valued education, but more than that, we were taught integrity, we were taught service to others. And I was lucky to grow up in an area where we had a leper colony and we had a blind center. I saw the blind grow vegetables in straight lines. And I saw people with just mere stumps make stools. For me, that made me realize the importance that people can grow into when given an opportunity. And I want this party to be recognized for that, to see what we can bring out of the Zambians, create an inspiration that will be unstoppable. And that's what I bring, visionary leadership, knowing where we want to be, not tomorrow, but for the long haul. I bring an experienced civil servant, both at national level and at international level. I've worked under three presidents, and I've worked under several ministers. That has given me an opportunity to see what we can do as a country and how capable we are. But at other times, left me wondering, what are we on about as a country? I'll give you an example. I've had colleagues walk into this country and say, you're a very hospitable people, and you're also very, very friendly. But why do you live in such filth? And we as Zambians have come to accept the debt around us as if it's normal. And we don't even connect this debt to the cholera that we have every year. And the number of millions of kwachas that go to the cholera, that is unacceptable. That is something we can stop. And I think you need a woman touch to actually begin to see the connectedness of these things. I have worked in civil service at a time when HIV/AIDS had the highest numbers in this country. I wasn't the lead person, but I'm happy to report to you that at that time we worked together. Churches, traditional leaders, men and women, the youth, civil society. We rolled up our sleeves, and Zambia became the role model of the country at the UN level, at the global level, how you can actually overcome a major problem in a country. How? By working together in partnership. And that's one thing I bring to you. Partnership with the churches, partnership, if you recall our colleague Nyasulu, who has since left us, I met him first at Ebenezer Church, where I had been invited to speak to the youth in their church. So I'm not limited only to the Catholic Church, where I have been all my life, but I've interacted with UCZ, worked with the youth in various denominations in this country. Traditional leaders, I'm grateful to God for the opportunity to have worked so many years in government, because that gave me an entry into almost every traditional leader in this country. So I have walked the width and the breadth of this country, and there's not a place I do not know. That humbles me, because it is not everyone who has that opportunity, but it also challenges me. I remember getting an invitation to come back home and work for Zambia when I was still working at the UN. When I accepted, my colleagues thought I was crazy. You're going back to a third of your salary. And I said it was time to serve. It was a time to contribute back to my country that made me able to go to the UN or work for the Commonwealth Secretariat. So here lies what we can do. I bring ability to build capacity of a very strong political party, because I know what it means to build teams. That's one of the strengths that I bring. I also know how to deal with conflict. I remember heading a delegation at technical level to the UN, and we were wanting to put a whole section on the girl child into a document. That is how you learn how to be politically savvy. We knew the Arabs value the girl child and sometimes even want to marry them off early when they're still virgins. So you look around the room and say, who do we partner with? I think for me, that knowledge of understanding who is where, who is doing what in this country, what do they value, and when we partner with them, who do we become? We do not want to lose our identity as Zambia we want. Because for me, one of the things that drew me here was how we strongly felt about separation of powers. And all of you have lived or read about countries where this is so clearly defined, that the judiciary behaves as judiciary and legislature as such, without the executive having to influence. That, for me, attracted me to the Zambia we want. And I want to believe that all of us are here to see something like that happen in our country. I also joined the Zambia we want, basically because we were all given an opportunity to actually be a valued member. We didn't have, as some people want to call it, the messiah of the party, so that we are all just following loyally because so and so. I want people with an independent mind who can actually question and challenge me and give me feedback should you choose to make me your president. I'm very open-minded to criticism, and I want to share with you that that is what you have to go through as a leader. But the moment you create walls and blocks around yourselves and put people who will say yes to you only, then you know you are doomed. Because only variety and sometimes even conflict builds us. And we need to allow that. And we have had a bit of that, a taste of it in this party. And I'd like to say that I'm about building bridges. So, in short, I bring not only the national experience, but international, where I have traveled with the 3 presidents I spoke to. And because I was the key technical person, I'm the only one allowed to sit next to the president, so that when questions arise, I will be able to answer. And you might say, well, that's different from actually campaigning and running for MP. I had a short stint when I wanted to stand as MP for Chifunabuli. I came across things that have left an indelible mark on my heart. But one thing that stood out for me was the poverty. So we have 2 Zambias. When I come home in the comfort of my home with running water, and then I go to my hometown, my home village, and people are still drawing water from a lake which is walking distance. So, one of the hallmarks of my life is development. And to some extent, I find that as a country, we have focused on politicizing the development of this country. Look at France. For 30 years, all the successive parties in power worked towards a speed train because that's how long it took for them to create a speed train. I look forward to a country where development is the focus and not the politics. And where each successive political party that comes in can work towards the long-term goal of our country's development. Otherwise, we can forget about developing this country if all we are interested in is changing faces. So development should be at the center of what we want to achieve. Jobs for our people. I keep shuddering at the fact that we have Mufumbwe, where people can pick gold and you still want to bring in an international investor. For what? Can we recognize what we can do as a people and begin to work towards empowering the people of this country? There's so much we are endowed with. And yet, because we mismanage it, we have ended up to be where we are today. So I look forward to the Zambia we want, being a political party that is driven for the good of this country, for the good of our people, and making sure that whatever we do, we focus on the development of this country. We develop the Zambian people. We put them as a priority and ensure that they win in the end. I want to thank you, my colleagues, for the encouragement and even for dissuading me from being here today. And to some of you, I said, I want your daughters and granddaughters to look back and say, one lady tried. I know there are several on whose shoulders I stand today, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So I want to make it easier for every growing up girl to know that we are capable. In partnership with you, our male folk, we can achieve a lot, as the example on HIV/AIDS that I gave attests to that. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ponga. We had, I think, 2 minutes and something remaining, so we'll take that into consideration as we give a time to answer. So, as of now, our time for questions will be 22 something minutes. I will go straight to it. We will do exactly what we did in the last set. 3 questions at a time. We move on to the next 3. So, hands up, Mr. Makulu. Connie Makulu, Kazia, third hand, Anthony Mwangi. Those will be the first. You can begin, Mr. Makulu.
Madam Dr. Ponga, what are your first priorities once you are elected as president in terms of ZWW's organization what have you identified as our weaknesses, and where do we need to put focus on so that we are credible, strong enough, robust enough to be able to continue in the next countdown to 2026.
Okay, Mr. Kazia.
Thank you, Chairman. Dr. Ponga, I want to draw to your strength in international experience you've had and your experience having worked under 3 presidents. What inspires you so much to bring out who Dr. Ponga is in this nation? And how are you going to inspire the women to support you, seeing that we have very few women presidents in Africa? Thank you.
Thank you. The third, Anthony.
Good morning, Dr. Ponga. My question is, our country currently, as you may know, is very underdeveloped.
Is?
Very underdeveloped.
The country is so underdeveloped as it is today. You can see, especially if you just take into rural areas, it will tell you the levels of underdevelopment in the country. This simply means that Zambia has a lot of work to do. If we elected you as president of Zambia, we would. And obviously, with God willing, at national level, how are you going to take this massive work we have as a country into jobs for so many youth who are just nothing?
Thank you, Mr. Makulu. Growth of the party is very important. We have sat here and produced 2 beautiful documents, but we've not gone out there to the masses. And as I said earlier, we have a lot of experienced people. And one of the things I think we have not used ably is the people who are in this room, who can mobilize. So one of the immediate things is to mobilize, organize ourselves, and make sure that we mobilize the party and grow the party. And for me, the networks I mentioned earlier would be key starting points where we go, because we all start where we know and begin to spread around. So the development of the structures at the provincial level, district level will be very important. And one I can borrow from others is even identifying an MP that's going to stand in 2026, who then begins to rally people around them as Zambia we want, and then we can go in and support. So it's very important that we develop the party. That is the next thing that we have to do, the almost immediate thing. Secondly, how to inspire women. There are very few women presidents in the region. And yet when you look at how they are performing, Zambia is not even there. You have Tanzania at number 8 and Namibia at number 10, which means they're doing well, and we could do with more. When we had COVID, a study was carried out, and they found that women-led countries, where women were the presidents or ministers, handled COVID better. So there are attributes that you yourselves as gentlemen, and I'm looking at Mr. Zama here, you have a woman in the house. You get your salary at the beginning of the month. When you hand it to her, you know that your whole month's needs are taken care of. Those are the same qualities we bring to the national level. We are the peace builders. We are the foot soldiers. I always tease you guys. You go to a funeral and leave a bit of money. I am supposed to sit there and make sure that we bury properly and things are properly done. And then you doubt my organizational capacity. So I think that we need to begin to recognize what we all bring to the table and ensure that we build on each other's strengths. So yes, inspire women. I'll give you another example. At SADC level, we had a meeting, and there were questions to which women would want to be Minister of Foreign Affairs. No hand went up. Then they asked who would want to be Minister of Finance. No hand went up. We changed the narrative and said, look, if you are given a little bit of money and you're expected to spread that money to the end of the month, would you offer your services? And they said, yes, that's what we do every day. Who is good at conflict resolution in families. So those qualities we are actually needing to dig out in partnership with our colleagues who are more logical in the way you think. I bring a bit of emotion to what you decide. And together, we can reach more people than you would alone or I alone. Underdeveloped country. You know what is amazing is we have the statistics of who is where. One example is, in this country, there are camp officers almost attached to every zone. No one gives them key results. No one gives them targets. And year in, year out, those of you who have worked in agriculture will even testify to the fact that, unfortunately, because they think they have nothing to do, they just sit around. We could begin to give targets. How much of maize production will be in this? How much of soya beans? So that each area is producing. Yet, we have other areas that may not be into growing of food crops. I'll give you an example of the vast land that we have in this country. And we still have young people graduating from Wekera and not having a job. How do we create cooperatives for them to work in the forestry and begin to make sure that each area is designated with qualified people and then having unskilled people partner with them? We have lots of young, energetic people who just need a bit of guidance and direction in terms of where we go. We can generate from our natural resources, but we can also generate from ensuring that our young people, I think of Zambia National Service. In the early days, those of us who went through national service were assigned poultry, livestock is also poultry, animal husbandry. We went there for training, which was like army training. Then the remaining months, we need to bring that back. Make sure that we count our youth where they are and what it is that we can offer them. And not wait just for those who have gone through grade 12. How do we train them? Because the army training gives you discipline, but the production period gives you something that you can do with your lives. And for me, it's to go beyond and start opening accounts for each of them, dependent on how they work, what they contribute, so that at the time they are leaving, they also are not just living with their skill, but they are living with some money to begin to develop. So 2 things. One, how do we group our young people into something similar like the Zambia National Service? I know the country currently is trying to do that. But let's not just focus out of those coming out of schools. But what about those out of school? Then look at our endowment, the forest. Look at the rivers. Look at the minerals. And group young people around that. I keep the example of Mfumbwe already. We can group communities around that.
Okay, I think that is all the questions. Okay, let me try and also consider people who have not yet asked. So Mr. Manumo, you will be 1. Mr. Mwale, you will be number 2. Who else hasn't asked? Okay, Mr. Chikasi. That's Mr. Manumo.
Thank you, SG. Infrastructure development is enormously a very fundamental component of real socio-economic development in any country. Our country has got some successes, but we are still not there. I would like to find out from you what would be some of your priority policies that you would probably consider as early as possible in trying to improve the living standards of our people, in trying to improve connectivity across our rural areas so that more development can reach them, and also just the digital infrastructure, because we live in the 21st century and technology is definitely something that must be in the forefront of national development. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mwale.
Dr. Ponga, just a simple question. Who is Dr. Ponga? Because in your speech you have not mentioned whether, when you were born, which side of the country, whether you went into school or whatever. We wanted to know who is Dr. Ponga. Secondly, you have connections outside.
Only one question, Mr. Mwansa. Only one question per person. This is Kasa.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mwansa.
Dr. Ponga, I just want to bring to your attention the tribal leanings that we have in this country. It's a topic that many of us don't want to talk about, but it's a topic that is out there. We have seen how polarized we become as a nation. What mechanisms or what strategies would you put in place to try and bridge these tribal leanings that we have in this country and bring us again to a place of one Zambia, one nation?
And you know?
So infrastructure development that was started by President Kaunda, we want to look at the recent by President Sata. But we are where we are because that's when we started. And if we had carried on, we would be at an impressive level. We are not yet there, and there's a lot that needs to happen. With infrastructure comes development, as you pointed out. The roads enable marketing of products, but they also enable communication. Today, there's even technology. That, for me, falls under infrastructure development, and it's very key. We have to have a plan. I was sharing with some of my colleagues that in my work as a government employee, I went to South Korea. They don't have a ministry of planning. They have a ministry of futuristic planning, to the extent that they are looking at 50 years from now. If you look at our roads, they are built so close to the houses. When you want to expand, you start bringing them down and compensating people. We need a good plan. A very good plan that will see us develop on a systematic basis. Some of what we do is very rampant and random. So for me, infrastructure is key, and I look forward to have very good engineers from within here to take the leadership on things like that. But for my duty, it is to provide leadership and depend on the technical expertise that is in the room. Yes, I'm Auxilia Ponga, born in Ibenga, St. Teresa's Mission. My parents were teachers there. They had worked in St. Joseph's Kalulushi. Both my parents are from Luapula province, LP, where we have the lakes. The only country with beautiful lakes. If you haven't been there, you better go there. So I went to primary school at St. Teresa's Primary School. Then I went to Ibenga Girls Secondary School. And from there, I joined the convent and was a nun for 25 years, probably where my service to people was even strengthened. And then I did my first degree at the University of Zambia, my master's and PhD in Manchester. And then I worked in government for the number of years that I've already said. I worked at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London for 3 years. I had another 6 years, but it was cold and miserable. And a lover of sun could not stomach the weather there. I had already studied there, that was enough. So I started looking for a job as close to home as possible. I was lucky to be made gender practice leader for Eastern and Southern Africa. That means I had 24 countries under my watch, whose budget I managed, but that also meant having real technical and technological skill to coordinate 24 countries around Eastern and Southern Africa. I'd also worked at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London, where I had 54 countries to look after. That gave me an opportunity to be broad-minded. And so when you ask me about how polarized we are, I think we are looking for a time of healing. A time of healing. And when I grew up, I was told, don't play with that child. She insults elders. Don't go with that. They don't wash properly. I was never told about don't go with that one because they come from this tribe. In fact, to this day, I still have to ask some people where their surname is from. That's who I am, a Zambian at heart, with parents from Luapula, kansambirira kubalamba, kanja kuskulu kubalamba, kanjisa mu Lusaka, and I speak Nyanja fluently. I was challenging Mr. Mwale. So for me, this that we have is unhealthy and uncalled for. And I think that as a people that are determined to have development, I will not look at your surname. I will look at your qualifications. I will look at how qualified you are for the job, regardless. Because we are all Zambians, and what we have at the core of what we want to do in the Zambia we want is to build this country. We know what is divisive. We don't want that. How do we begin healing? As a civil servant, I'll tell you that one of the things Kaunda did, you didn't grow up in Ibenga and work in Ibenga. I don't know how well transfers are done these days. He made sure some of you worked in places where your parents were sent because they had to work there. We need to have a mechanism in place that make us appreciate each other's provinces, each other's strengths, and the beauty that we have in each country. So I really think that that's a challenge where we would have to sit down and put our heads together. But for me, I bring a firm healing hand to the division that we have. A bit like Solomon in the Bible, I'd rather have the child develop and grow, who is Zambia, than begin to divide ourselves and cut up ourselves. Thank you.
So the last three questions, again, I'm going to go in order of who raised it first, Mrs. Nyangwe, Nalute. Okay, let me ask O'Brien since his question was not answered in the last one. These three, and then if we have a little room, I will get to Mtambala, Eugenius, and Chulman. Then we close. That if we still have more time.
Dr. Ponga, I'm glad you are a woman. But they say a woman is an enemy of herself. You can check in this room. There are how many women? Maybe 5 out of so many. We have seen vice presidents come who are women, who are supposed to advise the presidents. When they are nominating women in parliament, we continue being very few. What strategy do you have that we are going to have women being recognized and move forward? Because you said that when there is a woman, things move. But we can't move with just a few women. We need more women to move. What strategy?
Malute?
Good afternoon, Dr. Ponga. Good afternoon. First of all, hats off to you for being bold enough to challenge 4 males in the presidential race. You deserve a hand. Having said that, at national level, in our country, there's a mindset that women are not yet ready to become presidents of the nation. If we elect you today as our president for Zambia, what's your strategy? Or what strategy are you going to use to change the narrative which is currently in the country, whereby women are undermined politically, especially when it comes to the highest office of the president? Do you have a plan to change that mindset, seeing that we only have about less than 10 months before the next general election?
Thank you. Mr. Mumba.
Thank you, Chairperson. I much appreciate Dr. Ponga's experience in this series.
but to address amends to institutions of governance, in particular the Auditor General's Office and the Financial Reporters Office, where, if we could elect as president, would you like to sit these institutions? At the presidency or what?
Yeah, we only have 1 minute 23. I will add another 3 minutes to you, so you have 5 minutes to answer the questions, and at that point we'll close.
Okay. How do we get more women? Which is similar to how do we change the narrative? I have had colleagues here who are men talking to students on the streets and asking them, are you ready to vote for a woman? And they would say, no. Engage them further. By the end of the conversation, they would have changed. So what are we saying when we are communicating? I don't like an approach that says we are enemies of ourselves, because I've also seen men fight one another horribly. So we are basically just human beings. I would like to appeal to that which is, one, developmental in each one of us, whether male or female. I would like to appeal to the aspiration that should take us to the Zambia we want in each one of you. And I'd like to actually say, the Zambia we want can only be created by us. And these are men and women working together. However, I have a great affinity to the women who are vulnerable and are struggling. And my focus would be on those women and how we help them out of poverty. We make a mistake when we actually think things will trickle down. And that's what we have used. Or the figures are saying this. We need to focus the poverty where it is. And poverty in this country has a feminine face. That doesn't mean the men are not poor. When you have the figures, it will show you that the poorer are the women. So when we focus on them and empower them, that is smart economics. So, how do we grow the numbers of the women in this party? I want to believe that we have very experienced women, even in the Mrs. Sinyangwe who asked herself. One of the things that sometimes lead us into failure is wanting to have the spotlight on me and not allowing those who have the capacity to work. So we fail because everything should be on me and everyone should. I have great admiration for the work that this woman can do in 1 hour. If I were chosen your president, even recruiting other women, I would say, Mrs. Nyangwe, please run with this. Ruth Chikasa, coming from a church background, Girls Brigade, we have immense networks among ourselves. But if I insist that because it's me and I should do it, we will fail. It is to recognize those of you men who have worked with women and promoted them in what you did. I'll ask you to tap on that and begin to say, we work together. There's this party we have started. Would you like to join us? And put our values across. I think that's what makes us attractive. FICA and Auditor General, I would want those to be independent. One of the things we have said in the Zambia we want is that even if you are appointing judges, let there be a straight process of scrutiny so that when the person is brought to either parliament or the president to endorse, the president has not had a say in who is going to be what. And I respect that greatly, and we need to stick to that. So for me, FICA that looks at miscellaneous flows of money out of the country or even into the country, why should it be under the presidency? Or the Auditor General's office that goes to look at each ministry and how money is being spent. Make these bodies independent. Of course, people will now dig up my past and who am I, and there'll be a lot in the papers. But if I'm a person of integrity, what am I afraid of? Why should everything be under me? How can you even run a home if you did everything alone, let alone a country? So let us appreciate the strengths that we bring and recognize the work that individuals in the Zambia we want can do. I hope that answers. So not under the presidency.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry. I was trying to get the next candidate to prepare to come. As I wasn't here, so can I ask you to stand, and I will ask your peers to once again give you another round of applause. May you... Thank you very, very much for being a candidate. And I must say, although you are all asking me to be equal, but I think all of us are glad the fact that we did have a woman candidate. Take up the challenge and be brave. And we encourage as many women as possible, young and old, to be part of the Zambia we want. Thank you. And may I thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. So the next candidate to come in will be Honorable Auxilia Ponga. Honorable, please come in. Please come in. Please take the chair. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to do as was suggested. We'll start as soon as the mic has been put on you. And we will start the timer. As was indicated at the beginning, you will be given 15 minutes to speak and give your speech. And after 15 minutes, we will give your peers 20 minutes for them to ask your questions for you to answer. We are all set. May you please proceed. And the timer has started.
Thank you, Chair. Colleagues, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you. Okay.
No, it's his choice. It's your choice.
Yeah, I think let me stand.
Okay.
Yeah. Fellow comrades, brothers and sisters of the Zambia We Want Party. Today, I stand before you with humility and gratitude that you gave me to be a vice chairperson. Thank you very much. We are gathered here not just as members of Zambia We Want Party, but as builders of Zambia, the future Zambia. A Zambia that we have all longed to for a long time, the Zambia we want. You all know that from 1964 to this day, our people have waited long enough for promises of prosperity, justice, and equity to be realized. This has not materialized. We cannot continue on the same path that leaves millions behind. Colleagues, we are now standing on the eve of new era, new realization. New faith must be born. A new Zambia must be born. So you are very, very important for this country. The country is watching us, is waiting for our decisions that we are going to make today by way of your right to vote. Colleagues, the question that I ask myself each time I join an institution, an organization, is how can I become relevant in the system? How can I contribute Not that what is in it for me. That is not a question. The question is, how am I going to contribute to the well-being of the organization? And that is a question that I carried when I joined Zambia We Want. And from that very day, I said I have to contribute to my party and ultimately to my country. Whatever I've done, it's you, my colleagues, who are going to make a judgment, whether that was right or not right. My fellow comrades, we have to work for unity. This country must remain united. No one should divide us. The diversity that we have is supposed to be the strength, should not be the weakness. Therefore, throughout my life, I've not considered anyone as not a friend, not a relation. You are all my relations. And I demonstrated that. I came out of UPND when it was not fashionable to do so. There are very few, for sake of unity for this country. And that is, I joined the PF SAT administration. Consciously so, and I knew very well that this will bring consequences to my stay in parliament. But I didn't mind. I said 5 years is enough. It does not matter how many years you serve, it's what you do in that short period of time. That is what I consider myself. And I worked with Mama Kosata, I worked with Balungu. He put me as the Minister of Defense, and I discharged my duties. They have searched around to see whether I did something wrong. They have not found any wrong, because I went there for a purpose to save another human being. That's why we are here, to save each other. And that's what I consider. You saw me, I've been to Eastern Province. I've appeared on radio stations. Radio Breeze in Chipata and Rundazi, Radio Mpangwe in Katete, and also in other radio stations. I did not stop that because I knew that in order to win an election, you must be strong on the ground. The argument there on top would derail you. And I knew that if I want to be somebody relevant, I must sacrifice. Because there is no leadership without sacrifice. That leadership that has no sacrifice is dead. We have seen that. And I needed to sacrifice my life. I need also to sacrifice the little what I have. Sometimes I would argue with my wife, where are you taking this money? I said, Zambia needs to be saved. I have a duty before I die, before I pass, to leave a legacy. That there was Siamunene who lived in this way. Maybe the young one will be able to take a leaf. This Zambia belongs us all. I did not stop. The Copper Belt chairman is there. We toured nearly all the towns and constituencies. We did not end there. I toured also Central Province. I was in Mumba Radio. I was in Radio Cloud in Kabwe. And all this to make me relevant to you, my colleagues, and build our party. And it is very difficult in Southern Province. I said, I'm going to do it. We had to take a journey with Babobu Sitching. We went to Livingstone, we did, we marketed the party. Not only that, we also went to Choma with Wanyoni and Wazam. Not forgetting, we were with the Honorable Banda on Breeze Radio and Pango Radio. I have also appeared on other radio stations in Luapula province. We have created structures with the former SG in Luapula. I've been to Mungu, Western Province, Kaoma. I appeared on the radio station with the former Vice President. I appeared on Radio Riseli. I've been to Sesheke. I've been to nearly 8 or so provinces. I missed Muchinga and Luapula, including Northern Province. Now, it is our time to see, you are the judges, whether what I did resonates with your aspiration as a party. It's up to you. You may be doing something. Maybe your colleagues are not approving it. But the approval is by way of saying, okay, Siamnene, you are a vehicle that is moving. We don't want a Sunkamlam vehicle, that is on stones. That you don't know whether it will move or not. I'm already on the move. Right now, there are people working in Mukushi. There are people working in Lumezi. I was just sending some money so that they continue doing their party structures. We want to create a new Zambia where there is no Kapatulula. Kwabula Mutundu. Don't reject me on the basis of my tribe. No one chooses to be who you are. You just found yourself to be Bemba. You just found yourself to be Ngoni. And that is how we are supposed to live as Zambian. Why else? What else can I do? It's up to you. I am here for you. And I'm prepared. You must make a strategic decision. This is not just an ordinary election. You know the person that you are approaching. The person that is in power now. You should study his strength and attack him on his strength to weaken him. You cannot attack him on his weakness. No. He's weak the other side. Where is he strong? You must make a strategic decision. It doesn't matter whether you like my face, but the fact of the matter is that we must have a shared vision. We must be driven by vision and faith. I'm not a leader. I'm not a person who come when there's daylight. I will go even at night. What determines, what makes me move is a vision that I have. I have a vision that this country must prosper. This country must be where it's supposed to be. This is not where we are supposed to be. People have taken advantage of us. Because we are divided based on tribal lines, based on political lines. And this must cease. If we have to prosper, we have to unite as a Zambian. These who are in power now, they can inspire us. I came out of European because of tribalism. Members were not seeing themselves as part of the system. And it is what is happening right now. And I condemned the same thing in PF. And I thought that in Zambia we will create a different way of looking at things. And I believe so, and that's why I'm here. To build a united Zambia. A Zambia where we are all proud to belong to this country. Where we all participate. I am for inclusive governance. Where there is no inclusivity, I walk away. Because it's not part of my philosophy. I don't look at a person. I look at what he does. A person is judged by what he does, not the way he looks. No, not the where he was born from. It's what you do. It's how you think that makes your character. People should condemn your character, not your biological makeup. I'm here for you as part of your strategy to weaken the regime, the oppressive regime. How else can you attack? You should have a strategy. And within a strategy, you need a component of human and financial
1 minute,
aspect.
30 minutes, sir.
And that aspect is very important. How you place your human beings, your human resources is very important because they are going to make you deliver according to your objectives, your goals. What goals do we have? You choose based on the goals. And your decision must be made out of that. Otherwise, we are good people. And we are good to go. And I'm on the move. It's just the vehicle is already in the hiding mood. I'm not anywhere. I'm here. And I'll remain here. Do what you can do. The choice is yours. And I'm available. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Siamnene, for that speech. We will proceed as we have proceeded with all the other candidates. I will take 3 questions at a time. 3 questions at a time. So I will start with Mr. Malumo. I'm going to go to our not yet asked, Bishop. Anyone else who has not yet asked, Nicholas Bane. So those are the first 3. Starting with Malumo.
Presidential candidate the question I want to ask you is triggered by the contents of your biodata.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to raise the question on the issue of transparency and accountability in our country. What measures would you take to ensure that there's transparency and accountability in government dealings? Including the budgets and public spending and all those sorts of allocations in order to prevent corruption and promote good governance in our country. Having spent so many years in government.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The next one, I think, was Bishop. I believe it was Bishop.
The expiring candidate, Honorable Shamune, I have my question on there too, if I'm allowed.
No, just one.
One.
Just one.
Thank you. You mentioned in your opening remarks to us about inclusive community love in the country. And right now we are sitting in Zambia, where there is challenges of potholes, where there is division and not inclusive in governance, where people are put in from one section, which is violent movements. How do you are going to handle that? How? Because even now, the one that is in power, they are coming from Southern, and you saying that you're inclusive, how do you handle that so that everybody is included and there is peace and unity in our wonderful country? Thank you.
Which one was, who was the third? Which hand did I pick? Oh, sorry, Nicholas. Please.
Presidential candidate, Honorable Siamuni. My passion is in my leadership in culture, food security. Last year, this country was in a crisis. And I believe that my wholesome conclusion was that actually the current government did not plan very well with the food that was grown in the season before. But also because of the bad storage or keeping the maize that which was produced. And what plans do you have that this country should stop depending on land feed and agriculture? But also, how do you keep the products? What vision do you have to keep the product, the production that would be that when you are the president?
Thank you.
No, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for a very good question, colleagues. I think we are in it together. What I understand, during my stay in government, I was staying 6 months and the Minister of Commerce, 6 months, Western Province, and also 8 months there about in Works. I was studying. Through my study, I discovered that this country needs institutional governance. Institution must drive the agenda. We should not at the mess of an individual. That is what is prevailing right now. So if we strengthen our system, then this country will move from where it is now. And this issue of tribalism will not be the thing that we are going to talk about. Because people will be judged according to their qualifications, not based on tribe. Okay, whoever does that based on tribe, there is an institution or anti-corruption or other which works independent of those in the corridors of power or the executive. So that is what I think can answer to all these challenges that we have in terms of tribalism, transparency, all these. Because if it is an institution, and an institution should have some kind of a board who will choose or nominate a chief executive. And the chief executive's allegiance will be to the board, not to the president or the minister. By so doing, you answer all the problem. I think that marries with Dr. Sarare's question as well. So let me come to agriculture. Agriculture is very, very important because you cannot be here where you have not fed. You need to have food. You need to have sufficient supply of food. In order to do that, we know that Zambia is a ship that is not guided. In any leader that comes in, we will shift to this direction. I think the first thing that we need to do, we should include all experts. Let them gather and design a vision that we all share as a country and tell them this is how we are going to move, so that whoever comes into power is guided by the document, is guided by statutes. That is how we can run a country. So even what we are talking about to food insecure, because there is no guidance to those who came into power. So they had to sell. But if they are restricted on what they can do in terms of our reserves, if they do anything wrong, then they are breaching the constitution, and sanction must follow the people. So this is what we can do, and we can also do a planning that through the statistics office. It's very important. We should know how much do we consume in a year and how much do we reserve, so that we have food enough for 3 seasons or 2 seasons. So that in case of drought, you have to go to your reserve. And there must be law. There must be guidance. By so doing, we will not be, all of us will not be under the mess of one individual who calling himself president without looking at the welfare of others. It's a dangerous job to be a president. It's a dangerous job because You are on the public scrutiny. And anything that you do, God is watching you. And your end will be disastrous because you have affected the lives of others. So it's very important that we look at other alternatives. We can have irrigations all over. We have underground water. We have surface water. We have rainwater. So all these sources, we must utilize them in order for us to be food secure. Involve these men and women in uniform who are sometimes in the barracks doing nothing. Involve them. They are experts in their own field. I was at one time on a radio station. I did say that. And I saw the president going to Mukushi to go and negotiate with the farmers there to grow. Instead of buying from Brazil, which will take 3 months, and you are promoting, you are weakening the kwacha because you are importing what you are not supposed to be importing. So in terms of food, there should be no importation because this country has enough water. 40% of the water, the surface water that we have is in Zambia. And we have arable land. Why don't we have? We don't have the right government. The right people in government, let me say that. Because the fall and the rise of any nation, any institution, depends on leadership. If you don't have the correct leadership, you'll be going in circles. And this is what Zambia has done. We are not supposed to be where we are.
Okay. To give you more time, have you answered all the three?
Yeah.
You have, okay. Please, let me have the next setting up. Chulumanda. There's a gentleman there who I don't seem to recognize. No. For the NLC, the question are only for members of the NLC, but you can sit. Okay. Who has not? Okay. I'll get Mrs. Chikasa again and the youth, real. I'll get to you, Ndonga, in the next thing. I'll see you. Okay? So we've got Mrs. Chikasa, George, and Mkwai. The next set, I will come to Ndonga if we've got enough, and Mr. Sakala.
Thank you very much, Molan. And the Americans say, want to thank you for.
Proceed. Ignore your sister there.
Thank you, Madam. I want to, as the American put it, thank you for your service to the party and to the country. And for the honor for a very well presented profile. My question is your presidential mission so strong that must be either you or no one else? Or are you willing to serve in any other capacity for the sake of the party and the country?
You're eating my time.
Oh, yeah, please, no, go ahead. I've already called all those who have called immediately, the other one sits. Please continue.
My question to you, presidential candidate Siamnemi, is on the cyber laws that for the first time we've had to endure in this country that have made people to be gagged. People are not free to speak what they think, and we've seen many people have been arrested because they have said something that the powers that be did not agree with. How do you intend to govern this country while protecting the people's rights to be spoken about in a bad way or to be insulted, but at the same time ensuring that the liberties that are enshrined in our constitutions are there? What would you do about the cyber laws that we are living under right now?
The next, Mr. Mkwaya, I think Mr. Mkwaya. Just take note. I am sorry I have to multitask here. I'm just approving other documents for tomorrow's election, so bear with me.
Yes, my interest is youth for a very long time. Being in fact, we make a good demographic in terms of voting. So what agenda, because we've been used, it's a song, it's a broken record now. A lot of young people are using politics. So what agenda do you have that will intimately make us feel comfortable to say, okay, we have our honorable president who would be able to support our cause and also make sure that we just don't talk politics, but we're able to walk the talk and be able to influence young people. Because right now, we're at the point where a lot of young people in the country are interested in politics, but it has become so apparent that most people would rather bring young people for the greater good of saying politics is a game of numbers. They bring us for convenience's sake, and I would also be quick to appreciate your contributions towards the cause of the young people, but what is the general and most defined, I would say, agenda that you have for young people? Because we want from now going forward to not say, okay, we have President Samuel who's going to do ABCD for us and be able to support our cause. What activities, empowerment programs do you have for young people?
Thank you very much. Strong ambitions. This is not the first time. I've contributed to this country at various levels. I was a board chairman, Southern Water and Sewerage, and it became #1 during that time when I involved myself. I had to do a strategic plan because I know that an organization can only thrive if it has a strategy. So for me, I think if you are moving, you have my support. But if you are Sunkamlam, I will not support any Sunkamlam because you waste my time. I'm not a time waster and I don't want anyone to waste my time. If you have to move today, tomorrow, let's go to Chirilabombwe. Let's go to Mwansa. Let's go to Chief Nawatuka. That is what I want. So if you are Sunkamlam, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to push a wheelbarrow. No, I want side by side. We move as the insects operate. They swarm the area. So that way, I can save in any position. That's why I've even applied for other position. That tells you a story. Now, what about cyber laws? You see, if you don't want people to speak, that means you have messed up. You don't want the liberation. So for you, if you're a good leader, leave the people to speak. That's the only way you can know what you are doing wrong and what you are doing right. Because you are a public officer. And when you put yourself in the public domain, you must understand that you must grow a thick skin. You must ignore, because the people themselves, even from the opposition, you can get guidance. When they are complaining, then you know that this I've not done, this I've not done. Maybe let me do this thing. So people who want to put laws, they are not good leaders. They have no vision. Because God has allowed even people, dying people like me, to insult him if I choose to do so. That's how it's thing. We should get a leave from our Heavenly Father who operates in that order. So leave the people to talk about you so that you know exactly what you are supposed to do as a leader. But leadership is about vision. Seeing things that people are not seeing. And moving when it is hard. When it is at night, you move. Then you're a good leader. So the other point is youth involvement by Honorable Mufaya. So the issue here is that the youth are not the future leaders. They must be drawn into the present, because you cannot have the future without the present. That's why it is called the present. It's a gift. So I believe that each one of us, we are all different. And for this country to develop, we need to extract what is in each one of us, especially the youth. They must be involved in the current leadership to create the future. So, youth involvement is not a question. They must be involved from the start. After all, even myself, when I was too useful when I was a defense minister. So, I'm happy President Michael Sata and President Lungu involved me at that time. And I'm not too old, I'm not in the middle age, which means I can be used in any way. I can run. There are difficulties. We are dealing with this oppressive regime. There are difficulties that we are going to face in this field as we start. So you must be prepared that this leader, where is he going to take us? Why are you taking us? The question is, why do I want to be the president? Why? You should ask me, why do you want to be the president? At this juncture, I want to make sure that strategically, I disturb the vote there. If I disturb the vote there, then the country will be stable. We want unity. We don't want to call Tonga. We don't want to call losses. We want to call, we want to get united. You can only get united if the leadership that is there believes in unity. And I think I'm one of the few who have demonstrated that. Get to my trail, you will find where I've moved, whether I've any issue of tribal. It's not a question. So the youth, they will be involved in various endeavors. I believe that from the youth we can extract something, because we are all seed of divinity. We are all seeds. We can contribute something. So you start with the youth. Even people who have Mark Zuckerberg, who are doing extremely well, they are useful. The people who created this aeroplane, the brothers there, they were still youthful. They were at that age, and people were laughing at them. So we are going to extract something from the youth. I know that they will be active under the administration that is coming. And we are going to develop because of the youth, because we know that they are active. So I think that is what we are going to do.
Can I quickly ask for just one more last one for him to be able to utilize the 2 minutes? Harrington Kanem.
Chair, when I thank you for that opportunity to speak to us. Just a simple, for me, that's one clarity. I guess as Zambia, we want to believe in team leadership and peer leadership. So my question to you is, do you believe in working as a team or deciding to do what you feel is right rather than mixing others?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, you've got 3 minutes to answer that question, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. I think for me, when I joined Zambia, we were colleagues. I've requested the one who has gone outside to go together to Southern Province. I've requested you sometimes to go together. And even wherever I've gone, I worked with the people. I worked with Mr. Mwale in Chipata. I worked with Mr. Mtambala in Copperbelt. I worked with the provincial leadership in Southern and the district leadership. And some of you have gone with Mr. Zama, Mr. Kazia. We have gone together. And I am a team player. I believe in a team. Otherwise, if I don't believe in a team, it was going to be easy just creating my own political party. And I knew. Because I'm not a team player. But because I believe in a team, I am here. So that is how I can answer that. So, the call to action. The 2 minutes that I have, call to action. Comrades, this intra-party election is our first test. The people of Zambia are watching us with keen interest. They want to see if we can conduct ourselves with unity, respect, and maturity. Let us show them that we are not just another political party, but a movement that believes and lives by its own core values. Zambia We Want Party is more than a slogan. It is a call, a vision, and a destiny. Together we shall rise. Together we shall win. Together we shall build the Zambia that our children and our children's children will be proud of. I thank you all. God bless Mother Zambia. God bless Zambia we want.
As has been the tradition, I shake your hand.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best. Can we give him another round of applause? Thank you very much. Please stick around. Thank you. We have two more candidates.
Hey, thank you. How are you?
So we are going to proceed as we have done. Honorable Chinga, you will be given 15 minutes to speak, then 20 minutes for your peers to ask you questions. Can we start the timer? Honorable Chinga, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, and also to our newly elected SG, and congratulations to you. My dear brothers and sisters, colleagues, my name is Robert Kenneth Kaponda Chinga. I have asked through a copy of this, if anybody doesn't have, it's available. It's about my brief profile, the kind of person I am. Some of you know me personally. Others may not have the same amount of intimate information about me. It's available in here. So please take them away and have a look at it. To begin with, I want to acknowledge all my colleagues that are participating in this peer review. It's a decision we took collectively. All of us decided we wanted those of you who have worked with individuals to participate in assessing how they have contributed. And I think that one could also say that we have been acting in an interim position. Now, this gives us confirmation in terms of what we're seeking and selecting amongst ourselves. Clearly, there have been a lot of fights, a lot of efforts, a lot of contributions, different contributions. When I was invited to join the organization, I did not select a position. Instead, I said, what is available? And I think the biggest challenge that we had, in my view, was to get our ideas together. Our ideas were to see what was wrong in our land as a political party and how we, as an organization, could cure that. That, I think, is a job that we've done. And at the back of my manifesto, my personal manifesto, is the manifesto of the party. Zambia is on life support at the moment. It's in intensive care. Why do I say so? Number one, when you have power for 2 hours, when you have power for 5 hours, even if it was 10 hours, you cannot run an industrialized country. It just doesn't work. If you do not have a road that can carry the traffic every single day from Nakonde to the Copperbelt, from Livingstone to the Copperbelt to Solwezi, our roads are carrying the equivalent of 700 to 1,000 tankers every single day, and you are doing it on 2 lanes. There's been no change. If our hospitals are not functioning to the way we want them, because we're not taking care of our people, you are in intensive care. If you are not able to feed your people within Shima every single year because you've sold it to somebody else, you will know that you're in intensive care. I could list so many other things, but for brevity of time, I will not go into the individual details. That is what is causing Zambia to be in intensive care. Our manifesto, a copy of which I think each one of us has, is supposed to be the prescription, like the doctor gives you. This is the medicine that can cure that particular difficulty. In our case, it will be a series of programs, a series of projects, a series of activities that need to be had in order for us to cure this malaise, this illness that is in our country. To do that, you have to have some leadership. It means for us, the challenge that's before us is to obviously replace the current government because it has fallen short. The question is, how are we going to do better without a manifesto? How are we going to do better without the leadership? How are we going to do better without the manpower? This is why we are calling our manifesto a transformation agenda. It is not one thing, several things that are before us. We have to address these various issues. From the reactions that we have had since we started our program last week, I have received very favorable reaction from the general public. The general public, the citizens, the voters are saying, we know who we want to remove, but we don't know what to replace with. Because in 2021, when we made the change, it was a 2-horse race. It was either PF or it was UPND. It was a 2-horse race, and the results, I think, which our current Secretary General, in fact, analyzed, show very clearly that it was a 2-horse race. Those are the main competitors. For me, they are both a challenge to our organization, both of them. I think what happened in PF, I think you all know. What has happened now and happening now in UPND, you already know. When you separate the country, you split the people, and when I have married a Tonga, or somebody else has married a Bemba, or a Nguni has married a Lozi, what do you do with the children? What are they? You cannot entertain the issues of tribalism, which we all know is rife. But to do that, we must offer a solution. That prescription has to be purchased. Medicine has to be purchased. So I am offering to you that the work that we have done, which we individually were assigned to do in our respective acting positions or interim positions, I chose to do the manifesto. Why? Because I've done so many other manifestos. The MMD manifesto in 1990 was done in my office. I helped the Agenda for Zambia to do another manifesto. I helped UPND, where I was Deputy Vice President to Mr. Mazoka, to do a manifesto for UPND. Not only that, I also helped to prepare the PF manifesto. Some of you may know, I was the campaign manager for Mr. Sata, he asked me not to stand for elections and says, you're going to do my campaign. I helped to usher Mr. Sata into office. I wrote the inaugural speech that he presented to the country. I wrote the speech that he presented in Oxford, at Oxford University in the UK. So I chose something that I was competent to do. So those of my colleagues that worked with me on the manifesto, I want to congratulate you. Without naming names, I think you know them. Mwangas of this world, the others of this world that are now the SG. There is Nyoni, he's not here with us, but also Ndonga was with us, and many others. We have sat in all sorts of places, at hotels and everywhere we could find space. I think it's clear to me that I did my part. We did our part. We produced a manifesto. It's here. It's practical. You need practical individuals to address the issues. But also, as I say this, I want to say that there were several other people who had responsibilities. Their performance, I think you can tell, because they're your peers. You can judge for yourselves. Now, we're moving to the next stage. This is not a play matter. Those of you who have participated in campaigns, it's not a play matter. You are going to unseat a sitting government. It's not a joke. You have to be prepared and you have to make sacrifices. In our submissions, all of us as candidates have submitted that I'll take this position, I'll take this position, I'll take this position. I have applied not only for presidency, I've applied to go back to the job that I know best is finance, economics, accounting, and of course management. That's what you will see in my CV, which I'll touch in a short while. That's what I know best. And I think that the disease that the country has right now, the disease that we have to cure, this malaise that we have, for me, the elephant in the room is the economy. If you don't have the solutions to the economy, you will not solve the problems. There are also issues to do with our natural resource endowment. How are we using the copper? How are we using the cobalt? How are we using uranium? How are we using nickel? All these are not things that you can play around with. You will see in my manifesto, personal manifesto, you will see in my CV, I have worked on the mines at a very senior level. And that particular position was such that I could deal with a lot of things. I was dealing with statistics. I was at director level. I had worked on a mine at Mufulira for 5 years. In terms of my training, I am a certified accountant. I qualified in 1974, one of the very first Zambians to do so. So I have no apologies to make to anybody. I've been a pioneer in my field. I have tried my best, and from each organization where I came from, there is no name of Stinga having stolen. To me, it's more valuable. My reputation is more valuable than anything else. Let's move on to what else we are going to do. So I made a few notes. I'm always in a state of preparedness. I thought I should touch on these very quickly. It's because of the brevity of time, I will not do much. I will just talk on the topics generally. The challenges ahead of us as a party.
You have 6 minutes.
Thank you. Ahead of us, the challenges we have is to sort out our own party, first and foremost. Before we can even talk about joining others, this party must be strong. Secondly, we must mobilize in the provinces. We must mobilize, even if you leave provinces and leave the districts, we must mobilize at least at constituency level. Because that's where MPs are elected from. That is where the councillors are elected from. That's where the chairman of the councils are elected from. I am fortunate to have served as a member of parliament for the last 10 years, shall we say 13 years before I ended up. And at the end of it, I was minister. I was a cabinet minister. I was a nominated cabinet minister for the last 3 years of my tenure as a political activist. I served in Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry. Also beyond that, I served as Minister of Agriculture. And our campaign must mobilize both the urban areas as well as the rural areas. In the rural areas, it is agriculture. That's the survival of the people. It's agriculture, livestock, it's fisheries. For those of us who come from Luapula, it's fisheries. If we come from Mungu, it's fisheries. If you come from Kariba, it's fisheries. You have to deal with that. livestock. If you're coming from Namwala, like some of us do, it have to look after cattle. So these are becoming important issues, and it helped me to understand deeply the issues pertaining to those aspects. For the mines, I have already indicated to you how I dealt with that. And I think I can say to you, I excelled. I had 1,500 people under my command, including 300 police officers at Mufulira mine. So it helped me to understand. I've worked at Zamefa, where we make copper and use it. So the industrialization, which we've defined in here in our manifesto, is just within my range. I understand it very well, how it is supposed to operate. But as a party, we have to actualize that. We have to realize that. We have to win, not only against ourselves, as we're doing now, but even other political parties. Your choice today, your choice will determine whether this party can rise to that occasion. It can rise to the occasion where we can compete favorably with other political parties that we may be in an alliance with. But above all, you have to compete with the existing president. You have to pick somebody who can stand against HH and say, fact number one is like this. These are the figures, and figures don't lie. And I have been a vice president for UPND, and in 2003, I produced an alternative budget for that party. I know the inside working of UPND. So this is not a play matter, colleagues. How you are going to make the choice? Yes, we've worked together. Some are friends, some are not friends. But if I choose on the basis of friendship, knowing very well he might not deliver or she might not deliver, then all of us lose. If we pick the best individual who is going to provide that leadership that recognizes our individual talents so that we can then mobilize, and even as we compete with other political parties or even as an existing government, we know very well that we can stand our ground. For me, I would like to say to you that I want all of us, none of us should be lost. Therefore, each one of us should have chosen alternatives. I have chosen 3. I have said I can do their finance, I can do economics, I can do 1 or 2 other things. I have made available. I've made all the 3 choices. If you do not select me, I will be available to do other activities because I believe in this party. I would not have spent half a year preparing this manifesto if I did not believe in it. And also, I think that our country needs curing. You need the most competent of doctors. And I believe that from this team, we can build even more so on the ground so that we are practical. Let me conclude by making an appeal to you. You are the nurses. You are the doctors. You are going to make a decision today about who will lead the party, because that individual will then be able to attract income to the party. Why? Because we need the finance. If we pick somebody who does not make an appeal to the individuals, who does not have the experience of running government, we'll end up with another HH. Not knowing what to do, but always talking. We want somebody who is going to be practical, somebody who is going to know how to do it, somebody who has already done it and will build on that. My vision is shown very clear at the front, right here. And please, if you don't have a copy, ask me. What is it? To ensure that this country is led by quality and selfless leadership of high integrity. Somebody who can transform Zambia's economy by making it self-sustaining so that its people can be moved out of poverty and economic slavery. Ensure that Zambia is brought to a debt-free position by utilizing its immense natural and human resource endowments, which are its riches. Enhancing the training and preparation of the next generation, the youth and the mothers and the women must be educated. It is critical for that resource to be available. Lastly, with God's help, we need to develop our country to a level of great economic and humane, meaning we have empathy, we care for what happens to our people where it is. We must love Zambia more than we love even the ZWW. But the ZWW is our stepping stone to get to where we want to be. As far as my qualifications are concerned, I'm just going to conclude this SG. I'll be there. I'm just going to do this only to reflect. I'm just going to take this because I want to show what it is. My highest qualification is from Harvard Business School. This is the plaque I got from Harvard Business School. There is no lie in here. It's here for you to see. The certificates are all here. This is my NRC. This is the plaque from Harvard Business School. This is my fellowship. I became a fellow of the Association of Certified Accountants in 1981. I've been qualified for more than 50 years. This is from other institutions. This one is Parliamentary Regional Organization and of several other certificates. I only showed this to reflect to you, I am not a theory person. I'm a practical person. And I want to submit to you, if you choose any of my colleagues, and I want them to stay in the party, I'm prepared to work under them. God gives us different talents, different gifts. The gifts I have, I believe, can lead not only our party, but also our country to a different level. I've been at the AU, I've been at the...
May I stop you at this point?
I'll just conclude one way. Just
right.
I have been at the AU, I've been in SADC, I've been at the UNGA. I have done what I think most people can in terms of my preparations. So I want to submit to you that I am asking for your vote, not because you know me personally, not because I'm your friend, but because I can lead this organization to a different level. I thank you for your speech.
Thank you, Honorable Sikunda. As we have done, I can do that for you.
All right,
so that you can start, I'll put in there for you.
Thank you.
So that you can sit and we start doing the question. We'll clock it again for the 20 minutes. Can I have hands? And I will try to pick those who have not yet spoken. Okay, Mr. Ndonga, I haven't called upon you in a long time. Mr. Sakala, sorry, Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Sakala, you will be next. Okay, yes, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chief. My question to Dr. Sikunda is that the political economic analysts have always said the economy is growing, and the people on the ground or the citizens are saying the economy is not growing. And then a few select individuals agree with those that are saying the economy is growing. My question is, how would we ensure that the true economic growth of the country benefits all its citizens and not only a select individual?
Okay, thank you. So the next one is O'Brien.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, afternoon.
Being part of the NLC a bit of time, my question is, what is your current assessment of the state of our formation as Zambia we want to be able to go into the general election? And to that question, if elected as president, what will be your strategic actions in 30 days to be able to position us as a party of choice within us and being the opposition stakeholders and later on in the national election? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sakala.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Okay, thank you.
What comprehensive strategy do you propose to accelerate industrialization and also shift the economy from depending on raw material exports to a value-added kind of production?
Okay, those are the three questions. The first round. Please attend to those, then I'll ask the next.
Thank you. All the three
your storage capacity is not sufficient. During my year, 2013 to 2014, our capacity was 894,000 metric tons. So even if you produced 3.5, generates. So we need to increase capacity at the local level. And don't move the maize until you need to, because it's a cost. So you need security in those rural areas wherever it's produced, and only move what you need to the places which need it. Next, you've asked me about how we make sure that more farmers benefit from it. Yes, we should, but we also want the value. Exiting, it had been raised because we were lower to about 3,000 metric tons. Sorry, megawatts, I beg your pardon, sorry, megawatts. The truth of the matter is they have not done anything to change that situation. Whatever they've implemented was actually started by PF. The biggest source of energy is in Wapulo, in terms of hydro. I enjoy very good health, apart from the mouth sores that have been bothering me this morning. I believe that God, if He gives me time, if the Lord gives me time, we can get where we want to be. And just hear this, and I want you to know this. So my sources say that HH has given instructions to his staff at the State House not to answer anything I say, because he asked me to assist him on what he should be doing.
to ask you questions. Set the time, you are on the floor.
Good afternoon, the Zambia. We want electoral college.
Oh, there's a camera here, so I think you have to stay within this range.
My name is Simba. I'm 66 years old. I'm married and I have 5 children. I want to tell you how I came to be in this political party. At the beginning, we met about 5 groupings: Z, LPM, Amududu's party, Father Warrior's group, and our group. And we met because we have been hearing stories that we are all looking for a party that cannot have a messiah as the leader. We wanted to have a different party for the first time, at least in Zambia, and be seen that we are different. That's how we met. Now, from there, I've been a trustee of the Zambia we want. That's a post I chose because I was studying. So that post gave me some freedom to study. I was doing my PhD. But I was the first manifesto chairman. I only stopped being a manifesto chairman when I briefly left the country for a month. So they found somebody else to do that. I was also sitting on the Constitution Committee. For this time that I've been in this party, I am among the few that decided to be contributing to the party every month, 5,000, so that we can have the secretariat somehow running. I was one of the 2 people that were asked to review these 2 documents. So I am a bona fide party of the member of the party. How did I come to be a candidate for president? Some of my colleagues here in NLC, they came to see me and asked me, can you stand for president? And they had their reasons. And I asked to be given 2 weeks to consult, which I did. And after 2 weeks, I came back and I said, okay, I'll take it up. That's how you see me here now, wanting to be the president of the Zambia we want. My professional life. I'm an electrical engineer by profession. And at the moment, I'm doing my PhD in production engineering and management. My working life, I've spent all my working life at Zamefa for 18 years. I joined them as electrical engineer. I was promoted to production engineer. I was promoted to production control engineer. I was promoted to plant engineer. I was promoted to projects manager. Details can come later. My political career, I was a branch secretary. I was the vice deputy chairman, deputy district chairman, and I was secretary general of the MMD. As secretary general of the MMD, that was a time when MMD had lost elections to PF. I tried by going around the whole country to encourage our structures to stay together. My political profession is that I've been deputy minister, commerce, trade and industry, deputy minister, state house, deputy minister, health, deputy minister, finance. Then I became cabinet minister, works and supply, cabinet minister, health, and cabinet minister, transport and communication. So, what am I bringing to this party today? I'm bringing to this party, first and foremost, clean hands. In all these areas I've had nothing attached to me, nothing. So I'm bringing clean hands to this party, to this position. 2, I'm bringing a wealth of experience, industrial experience. I'm bringing a wealth of experience, political experience. So, in bringing these things to this party, I believe that I'm bringing hope to the Zambian people. For once, they can believe that there's going to be a team that can be truthful to their expectations. For once. So I stand here to say that, look, in me is the trust that we want to build to project ourselves to the people. So how do I see the future? The future, as I see it, is that we have a lot of problems, but we have two major problems. One has to do with governance, the other one has to do with economics. Now, I'll start with the governance problem first. The governance problem is that the result of this country failing to separate the three arms of government. That's what has created the governance problem. And it has also overspilled into the economic problems. And I will explain to you why. The three arms of government is the judiciary, parliament, and the executive. I want to talk about only two, because the executive is quite established. So I'll start with the judiciary first. The judiciary is there to give guarantee to any business person that their investment is secure. No investor is going to invest in a country where he's not sure the security of their investment. So we have failed to attract investors in the manner I would like them to come to us, because they are not sure whether their assets will be theirs tomorrow or not. So if you want to have people come here, we need to make the judiciary independent. There's no any other way it works. If you look at all the developed countries, it's because they have their trust in the judiciary that I'll be protected when things are not well.
Honorable Simba, you have 3 more minutes to get to your 15 minutes.
How? Okay. So the other problem, economics, parliament, we need to get executive out of parliament. Otherwise, we'll never get it independent. Forget. So the other problems that I see is that of hunger in this country. And the hunger in this country is as the result of the policies that we have in agriculture. We cannot, from 60 years ago, still having people plowing an hectare of land using a hoe. We cannot. We have to mechanize agriculture. Then we shall boost the production from 2 tons to 6 or 8 tons. The other problem we have is that of energy that we're facing right now. You know that right now our production, our installed capacity is 4,000 megawatts. But right now we're only generating 1,000 megawatts. That's why we have this problem. But this is a low-hanging fruit. The machinery is there, everything is there. We just need to invest back in there and bring it up to 4,000. But for the Zambia we want, we need to take it to 10,000 megawatts. The other thing is the mines. Now, the mines, I want to combine it with the small and medium enterprises. Industrialization is built on SMEs. If you don't have SMEs, forget about your industrialization, it's dead. And that's what has happened to this country. Our industrialization is dead because we have failed to recognize the few SMEs that we have. Now, the SMEs are important because they are the supplier of parts to big companies. For example, if we start a tractor company, we need suppliers of parts to that company. So we need to find out the Zambia we want. We need to find out who are the SMEs and where are they, what are they doing, and see how we can improve the framework in which they should operate. The last one is the mines.
Now, I will allow you to make that last point on the mines.
The last one is the mines. For this country to make the money that we need to restructure the shareholding of the mines. We have no way out of there. So we need to ensure that as a government, we either run some mines direct, and please, this is not impossible. That's what Chile has done. Chile owns the biggest mine in the world, Codeco. Chile, 100% government. So there's no reason why we can't do it. Now, why is this important? Because all that revenue comes to us. We can then create a sovereign wealth fund from where we are going to take all this money to do all this work that we're talking about. So that's how we are going to use the shareholding in the mines. It's something that Zambia must ensure they do. And the Zambia we want, that will be our target. Thank you.
You can take a seat. Thank you very much, Honorable Simba. As we have been proceeding, we will now go into the question and answer session. I will ask 3 of your peers to ask at a time. Then we'll take a second set. Well, set is actually 10, but we'll set a second one. And then, if possible, maybe start the timer. Are there any questions? So let me go to the youth at the back. Mr. Mkwaya, then followed by Ms. Kasa, then the bishop. I'll get to you. I'll get to you, Mr. Ndonga, because you've been asking a lot of questions. Okay? So you, Mrs. Kasa, and then the bishop.
That was quite a presentation. That was
Speak a little bit louder because we're quite far here.
No.
Or come nearer. Come nearer so that we can hear.
Yes, I was saying that was quite a presentation, quite packed in a very short period. I just wanted to also maybe find out the agenda for young people. It's very important because most of the times we have, I've been lamenting almost to all other candidates. We've been more like the wheels, and we never get to really enjoy the fruits after the mobilization, the coming together, then over time we get to be abandoned. So what guarantee do we have as young people that with every good thing you've mentioned, and it's quite, you know, it's enticing, but what agenda do you have for young people that every other young person who's probably watching right now and listening to you would say, okay, this is our best candidate for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Kasa.
My question is on the cadarism in this country. Having worked under 3 presidents, and we have seen how cadres have taken over certain functions for government institutions, the marketplace, the bus stations, and even some of the professional institutions. People have to answer to cadres. And this was in the MMD, this was in the PF, and now we are experiencing it under UPND. What strategies do you have that will help the Zambia we want to deal with this scourge that has taken this country over, and people fail to practice to the best of their professionalism because they are fearful of what the cadres will do?
Bishop?
Thank you so much. The expiring candidate, Mr. Simba, the experience talked here was very good. The information, very good. And I appreciate it. But I just have one question. In his beginning, talking, he says that I was told to stand. Then it comes to me that if this person was told, then it was not his view. What about if it doesn't go through? What will happen? Won't he be inconvenienced by the people who motivated him? Number 2.
The only one. Oh, yes,
it's the same thing.
Number 2.
That means he didn't have that vision. And if he didn't have that vision, won't we, I don't want to go back to other people, won't he be able then to say, those are the type of questions I'm trying to put across to the experienced man that, that wants to stand to be our president, but with the two legs, his leg is limping, but the strong leg is the motivation for others. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, you can answer those three.
Thank you, SG. I'll start with Mr. Mfwaya. Mr. Mfwaya, I'm aware that at the moment we have something like 7 million youths without employment, and the number will be increasing. So this is a very dangerous state that we have set ourselves in. So it requires a real novel solution. And I'll give you what is in my mind. And I'll answer Bishop Sarah. And please follow me, because this is important. I think most of you who are my age know that we had national service. Yes? Where we're being taken for 2 years so that they can create room for others in that time. I believe that's not the way to go, because it was very, very wasteful. But I believe that we should set up a protection unit in the police where we can employ all these young people to do police protection work. They are living in their parents' homes, going to specified units of places where they're supposed to operate, and being given a stipend or some money so that the little things they can do. Then from there, those who are now ready for college can go for college. Those who feel they should remain in the protection unit can go for further training. The reason why most of these governments fail to do what you are saying is because they tend to think that everyone must find their way instead of being assisted. If you are not being assisted and the government is not putting in place policies that will ensure that we create employment for you, definitely it's very difficult for you to get employment. But I believe the Zambia we want, that's not the way we want to go. We want to take care of not just our cadres, but all the youths that are supposed to be employed in this country. And it is possible. This is just one way I'm talking about it. Cadreism. Again, cadreism, believe me, has come because of this same unemployment thing. Because all you see there is people who one day they find something to do and they're excited because they have nothing to do. But if we ensure that all these youths can be empowered, look, it's not the money. If you look at India, they compare that a person in India can be earning $300 when that job in the States is about $2,000. And he knows, but he's happy because he has got something at least he can deal with. It's not the money. It's how you employ or engage these youths. So no one should say there is no money for the youths. It's how do you employ them? That's what they don't have the idea of what to do. So cadreism, Mrs. Chifasa, will not exist if we take a lot of attention to the youth and how we can handle them. We don't want cadreism, please. I think we should all be agreed with this. It's a very dangerous thing. That started actually with the unit. They used to call them vigilantes. Very scary. And now it has ballooned to extents which you can't control. We have to cut it. Because even now, it's there. So no one wants cadreism, Mr. Chikasa. We shall have to work very hard if we happen to be in government, as the Zambia we want. Bishop, I'll give you just a little history of myself. In 1996, I was shortlisted to stand as MP in Rwanda. But they picked another person, a lady, Tiro. I never left the party. I supported her, I was the branch secretary. I supported her until she failed herself. In 2015, I'm not sure, we had to choose a party president for MND. I stood, though I went in late. I stood, and we chose Never Smoke. But that's a man that I became to a secretary general. I never left. I supported him. Now you're asking me, why did I come in late? You see, at times you don't have to fight for things, you know? I saw, we started, this journey we started a long time in there. And people were proposing 100,000 for president, whatever like that. But there were those who were in the front. And hey, anyone of us can be president. So why should I go and throw myself there when there are already people that were there? So that's why I stood back. But then I had people coming to me. Okay? Thank you.
Can I have, I promised Mr. Ndonga, Manzama, then Mr. Kadema. Then I'll come this way. I'll start with this young.
Thank you, by the way, I haven't answered a lot of questions. Please ask, Mr. President, how do you envision the economy evolving over the next 5 years, and what role will the Zambia We Want policies play?
No. Mr. Ndonga, please. How do I envision?
Yes.
Envision.
Okay.
Envision the economy.
Yes. Evolving over the next 5 years.
Okay.
And what role will the Zambia We Want policies play?
Okay. Mr. Zama.
Good afternoon, Dr. Simba.
I'm not yet a doctor.
This election, we are looking at the 2026 election. The majority of the voters are the youth, and the youth feel that they've been let down. They are calling people like, I'm having a look at you, recycled politicians. Can you please explain and elaborate that one? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Zama, Kadema.
Thank you. Honorable Simba, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
I guess when I listen to you, you have really picked up what we say in our manifesto very clearly. And for me, that's good, because then we should be aligning with what we believe as a party, not as a people. But now I want to ask you specifically, what will you do? Because I think for me, the biggest challenge we have as a party is membership mobilization and resource mobilization. What will you do if we voted you in terms of mobilizing for our members and resources for us to be able to win the 2026 election?
Okay, so those are the three. I will allow you to answer the three, then we will take maybe two more, depending on what our time is.
Okay. The economy over the next 5 years. The economy over the next 5 years our economy, first of all, in this country, is based on the mines. Because really, we have no industry to talk about. In fact, after the privatization, all that industry we saw has just disappeared. So the only activity we have is just on the mines. Now, the mine is what can be used to create industry in this country. Now, how do you do that? You do that by ensuring, first and foremost, like I said, you set a standard. And how do you set a standard? The only way you set a standard is if you can be part of it. Then you can set a standard. There are industries that are like obvious to us that we are not doing. For example, we have copper. Copper produces a lot of products that we can also produce. Magnet wire, for example. Or the generators that are driving generation, for example. These are industries that we should not give any excuse to anyone that we're doing them. And these really benefit our economy first, not anyone. We're not competing with anyone. So we have to ensure, first of all, that we get the right products or production out of the mines for us to have money to spread out into the industry. There's no other way, because we shouldn't be looking forward to going with a begging bowl again. That's not the way to develop. The way to develop, you first start yourself. People see your seriousness, then they'll come forward. Believe me. I have a guy called, he used to make blocks. He was a small guy. But when he grew big, banks followed him, not him going to the banks. So we have to show commitment that we are willing to move this direction, and we shall have the people with us. So, as the Zambia we want, we shall have to identify the industries we think we should run. And this is why Mr. Ndonga talked about SMEs. Go anywhere in the world, no one will cheat you. If there are no SMEs, you are dead. So that's the only way we can progress. Otherwise, we are doomed. The 2026 elections, how is your campaign? Now, look, all elections is about how you campaign, Mr. Zama. When I was MP, people that are 90 years used to come to vote for me because I cared for them. Whenever I was in the constituency, I would visit them, I would take them something. So always they voted for me. It's how you campaign. It's not always that, yes, the youths are so many, it's true. And it's possible, if they won the 2026, it's possible, then they have won. But if they don't win the 2026 and they vote us in office, there will be no youth to think of jumping the ladder, because that is jumping the ladder. I'll tell you what, Mr. Zama. For those young people who come to parliament, and the next 2 terms they are voted out, most of them are just a disaster. So don't jump. Try to work as things should be. But these people are doing this because no one is caring for them. And that's not what we should do as a Zambia we want. We should be different. For once, let people see people can do things different. So, campaigns you win is by the way you campaign, not anything else. Mr. Kanema, first of all, this is a very difficult, both of these you've talked about are very difficult. Mind you should understand, we are new. We are coming in a field where there are already those who are established already, and we know it. So now, we are going to go into this field because people that are political, I can say they're just maybe 20% of the population. The rest will just vote depending on how they see things. But people that are actively involved in politics, they're just maybe 20%. So we are coming into this field afresh. We should really sell a very good team to the country. Once we sell a very good team to the country, it is going to be very easy for us to find people that want to join us. It will be very easy. But if we don't sell a very good team, it will be very difficult, believe me. So we need to sell a good team. Whatever will come out of our elections should really comprise a team that everyone can see that in this team there is everything. If we don't do that, we are doomed. Now, concerning money, of course I'm not a rich person, and I don't think many people are rich. And I think in attracting the money from wherever we should attract money from, I think it shouldn't come with strings. Anything that would come with strings, I think we should reject. Or else we're not going to be any different from any other party. Because you see these parties, the way they behave like this, because unfortunately, they get a lot of money but stayed. And when you get into power, you have to play to their tune. I hope whoever we're going to attract will see who we are and decide that they want to come in with us because they think we can deliver to the Zambian people. That's what I can answer, Mr. Kane.
Okay, so I will take, we have 5. We have 5 more minutes, Mrs. and Mr. Maluma. Then I'll close it there so that we conclude.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, I've been following your speech. What impresses me is the we. We will do.
Will. Because if it is hard, you become a failure from the way. One thing I've seen politicians, I've interacted with them when I was doing education broadcasting. One thing that makes presidents fail is this business. When they get into office, the only thing they are thinking about is my next term. And they start doing wrong things. They change constitutions because they want to do things that will bring them back into the office. The cadres become irresponsible because they are supporting them, they are saying what they are sending them. Are you going to be disciplined enough not to go by the things that you think will please you alone, but to build the nation?
Thank you. Mr. Malumo.
I want to raise a question on the area of climate change and mitigation, because I think this is a very important area. We can't just talk about socially and economically developing our country without touching on this very important aspect. I'd like to ask the presidential candidate how you intend to balance economic development with environmental sustainability.
Okay. You are not being heard.
The question is, how would you balance economic development with environmental sustainability, and what initiatives you will implement to address climate change and promote renewable energies in our country? Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Simba, you have 3 minutes to answer those 2 questions, and we ask you to give you 1 minute to close.
Discipline. Discipline is a very cardinal thing in any organization. Having worked in manufacturing, it has instilled a lot of discipline in me. You have to meet targets, or else your customers will run away from you. You really have to be disciplined to do what you have been requested to do. And it's from there you have seen I've developed the discipline of time. Time is what controls everything. There is no way, I can assure you, there is no way, and I think all of you know this, that as a Zambia we want, I'm sure we're all Zambia we want here. The Zambia we want, we have told ourselves that it is possible for us to go for another election in 3 years' time if we take office. And the reason is that we are going to change the constitution. We are going to change the constitution to bring it where we are saying the president won't be voted in by the majority or suffrage. It's not going to be voted in by that. And because we want to make a difference, we want to change this country, the failure of this country is exactly what you have talked about, selfishness in people. We want to change that. We have said in 3 years' time, if we take office, we shall go for new elections, so that we bring in the new constitution, which will, to some extent, control whoever the president is. And you know what we have said. The president should be recalled, either by the party or by parliament. This president must not be that I'm voted by every Zambian, so you can't recall me. No. So we want to change all those things. So I think we're putting together a situation where a president won't be selfish. And that applies to whoever becomes president. So if we have the opportunity to rule this country, believe me, they will remember us in history. Climate change. Thank you. You see, really, the world has no choice but to take cognizance of climate change. In this country, as the Zambia we want, believe me, I don't know if some of you have these systems. I have one. I cook on biogas. This biogas, I generate it in my house from the leftovers in the house. The food, the vegetables, it's there. I cook on that. And it's a very, very workable system for everyone. And we must sell this kind of system so that we lessen, first of all, the use of electricity, and second, the use of charcoal. We need to go the new way of producing energy. And biogas does it very well. So The problem we are facing in this country, because of charcoal cutting, we've been laughing at others that they have deserts. Well, believe me, go to Northern Province, you are going to see something like a desert, because there are no more trees. So the trees are really left in very, very deep areas of the country where people can't reach. We have to stop this and control this. It's possible, because those who come from big lakes, they know. If you stop fishing for 1 year or 2 years, you have a lot of fish. So it's the same thing. Trees have not stopped growing. It's just that we keep on cutting them. If we can allow them to grow, they will grow. We have the climate that allows that. So we have to take these two major steps. And then we shall really be in the forefront of climate change control.
I think those are the last 3 questions. Can we give a clap to Honorable Zimbao? And as the tradition, may I also appear on TV shaking your hand? So one more round of clap. Thank you, Honorable Zimbao.
Thank you.
This comes, we are finished now.
Okay.
I think that if your colleagues are still hanging around, may I give you the instructions to tell him to come, so that we can have lunch, which is ready.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, colleagues of the National Executive Team, National Leadership Council, we have now concluded our peer review. We had 5 presidential candidates. We have talked to them. I know that a lot of you were taking minutes. I could see that a lot of you were scoring them. As we had agreed as a political party that this is not a political party of messiahs, that everyone must be subjected to the review of their peers. And important in that was the belief that whoever we will elect as our leader will be part of this group. We will not fear them, whether it is a how or not, and we've all undertaken that they will be part and parcel of the group. I only wish to say one last thing. As acting chairman, I am compelled to say that as acting chairman, I have no support of each of those who have been speaking here today. As Muhabi Lungu, I too will cast my vote for one of these. As Muhabi Lungu, I can only urge all of you to be able to assess the people who stood in front of us today and decide, not on the basis of who your friend is, not on the basis of who you've come from together with, not with the person who you think will give you a job. You have a responsibility to make a decision on what is in the best interest of the party. That is your first responsibility. By extension, you have the responsibility to make a choice on the basis who you think will be for the best of the country. Because that is your responsibility. We are not here to play or to be small. We are here to be big. Our party deserves for all of us. Coming gentlemen. Are you the only two over? Yeah. I think you can take your seats anywhere else. I'm just concluding. I'm saying it is my view and my honor that we will make the best decisions for the party. Lastly, and again, I make this as acting chairman. All of us here, from inception and when we were preparing this process of elections, we said that we wanted to ensure that every one of us will have a position. There are 66 positions in accordance to the constitution of our party. The position which we have filled are only, so far, 39. And even after we have placed each other according to priority, there will still be many positions for others to go. I hope that the basis upon which we'll be making this decision is not to exclude any one of us. I hope that the objective of the voting is to get the best people in the right positions, and not to say, me, because I don't like that Muhabi Lungu, I'm going to vote no. That is not the basis of our democracy. So I only urge you, And I say this because I have heard that in some cases, some have said, we are going to ensure that that one is voted out. I think that we will be doing an injustice to our political party. I think that all of us here would like all of us here to have some form of position because we have come from far together. Many people did not think we would come to this. Many people thought we would break. Many people thought that we were unsellable. But you, Mr. Nicholas Banda, you, Nalute, Ernest Mwansa, Dr. Ponga, Siamnene, all of us have ensured that we've walked this mile and we've come to this. Let us not break from here. We have demonstrated that we believe in democracy. Let us take our party and our country where? To the next level. I will leave it here, and I will ask all of you to stand up and clap for ourselves for this wonderful job. Please stand up and clap for ourselves. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, you can sit. At this point, I am going to the